my face is still showing on this pitch black screen. I don't know, but um, I just want to say it has been very trying over the years. I've gone through depression several times in the public eye and had to recover from it. Really, nobody to talk to about anything. Nobody to have an understanding in it, and then just starting to realize certain things. So, yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but um, there's been different people who've, been watching me, and I've been watching them as well. Um, but it was encouraging to receive laughs from these people. At times, things felt personal. Um, and, I didn't always like my response. And that, goes with my healing process and different things I had to go through. But, with all that being said, I appreciate um, everybody who has genuinely been pouring into me um, in any type of way, whether it be with the laughter and, even though, we can't all physically connect, um, having different people be aware of you, acknowledge you, and different things. It has been good. Um, as I've said before, I'm a loner. I ain't got no problems being by myself. I'd rather be by myself at times, but you know, the Bible tells us to not forsake the assembling of ourselves with the saints. Um, and I've learned as I was more productive when I was around like-minded people, people who thought like me, people who seen the world like I did, and you know, through bad decisions and through choices that I made on my own, I've caused strains. I've done different things to hinder certain blessings, but at the end of the day, we have to understand that um, we all got time to where we must do things alone, and we got to be able to endure in those times. Christ wasn't always with the disciples, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, why you always go to Jesus? Um, Even Jesus had moments where he felt alone. And, he highlighted those things. Some of those accounts are in red for a reason. Um, to give us a glimpse into, the feelings that God had, the things that he had to endure while he was in his human flesh. And so it should encourage us to know that, we're going to naturally feel certain things as we go through certain things. But with that being said as well, and this is going to tie into the message, um, we have to understand when, we have grieved God to a certain extent. Um, and I think it's important to recognize that, when or if you have done something or you are in the midst of doing something that is detestable to him and that will cause his presence to either leave from you or not have as much influence in your life. Um, and so, I have my battles with these things. And like I said, all of that is going to tie into um, the message. Should be out Sunday, but probably Monday or Tuesday, I'm thinking. Just a lot of stuff going on with work. But um, with all that being said, the main point of this video was to get on here and to thank the people who have been helping me pick myself up in these times, because it has been trying, not having people to talk to, and everybody thinking you're crazy. But it's been a blessing to have different people to um, be around and hear their story. And, when I've become impatient on people, God reminded me of the grace He extended to me even recently. And so, these things I must, extend to certain people. Certain people are going to take certain things I do and say personal. But it just comes at times from, naturally being a loner, and as well as the things I've experienced. But with all that being said, I've improved on those um, responses and different things. Um, so anybody who's out there praying, um, anybody who's out there, not looking at me with an evil eye, not um, looking into my life or into my business to try to do certain things to create more mental torment for me or whatever it may be. I appreciate you. Um, and even those who have been, I still pray for you. Um, you have been part of my test. God has been testing me and seeing if I'm still be able to extend the same grace to people that I'm getting. Be able to pray for certain people, even when I feel like they have wronged me. And, all of these has been very hard lessons, but, one thing that'll humble you in doing those actions is if you're actually a humble person in the first place. But then also going through things, experiencing things, and I think that's the importance of our trials. So, we can't place one person below the next person. God can use the filthiest person. A lot of people don't come back because of the mental torment, because of things that, people project on them or say into them. I'm glad God has, made me a strong individual, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that can walk in the shoes that I got. And that's not to try to toot my own horn or anything. I don't see too many people, especially how, people take things that I've done or how they perceive things that, I've done. And, it makes me appreciate the person that I am. And it helps me understand even more that, God is using me for a purpose. And as I said, the mistakes I've made have allowed me to be able to extend more grace into people, to be more, open to ear. During the pandemic, I was really harsh and cutthroat with people. Not in the beginning, because I was trying to relay a message that I believe was important, but, in relaying that message, I began to get offended, take things personal. And one thing about me, I don't get, people try to project this onto me. What's for me is for me. Whether it be woman, house, car, business, opportunity, friendship, what's for me is for me, and I figured that out. And so you you don't compete where you don't compare. It's like, you know, man and woman, or a grown man trying to compete with attention over a child. Um, it's like, it's nonsense. And being an older child, um, you know, even though I had a lot of attention on me, there was also a lot of responsibility. Like, um, of course, everybody was looking at certain things, me to do certain things and get certain things done. But when everything went wrong, it was always my fault as well. And that's a burden I've always had to carry and be mature with carrying. Um, there are secrets that I've held in my heart from other people's lives, and they were hard from a young age. And, you know, I think being able to, and which isn't a good thing, being able to keep those things secret, um, developed into bad habits, like me being, you know, more to myself with certain things, me feeling like people don't really understand. Uh, and I can be in a room full of people and feel alone. But, you know, I was also aware enough to never let nobody around me feel that way. So even being a kid, like I wasn't the most popular person, but I would always go find a person that was sitting alone and eat with them, no matter what they looked like, no matter what they had on, just because like, if that was me, I would want other people to do that. But I remember in the fourth grade, I brought this story up. Somebody did that for me. Whenever God bless you in certain ways, you have to extend the same thing to others. And, you know, a lot of people get deceived by certain things because they allow to continue in certain things that they think that it's okay. But as I've said, I'm going to get into this in a message that is coming up soon. You know, you have to recognize when you do things that God doesn't like, and when it's not pleasing to him, and even when his presence leaves. Um, so it's always important to take heed of yourself. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I thank and I love everybody who has been sincerely, you know, trying to pour into me, whether it be with laughter, support, brotherhood, friendship, whatever it may be. I'll see y'all soon.